وَإِن مِّن قَرْيَةٍ إِلَّا نَحْنُ مُهْلِكُوهَا قَبْلَ يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ أَوْ مُعَذِّبُوهَا عَذَابًا شَدِيدًا وَكَانَ ذَلِكَ فِي الْكِتَابِ مَسْطُورًا. كَانَ ذَلِكَ فِي الْكِتَابِ مَسْطُورًا. So there are subjects in the Quran which are mastur. Dajjal is most certainly mastur in the Quran, but it is there. And so the answer is given in Surah Al-Kahf, and it is given in a way to warn us. Warn us. Surah Al-Kahf is warning us that the greatest fitna that mankind will ever experience from the time of Adam alayhi salam to the last day is a fitna that will attack you in a manner that it will be difficult for you to recognize it. You will not be able to recognize it using the left eye alone. You also need the right eye. Excuse me, sir, you say that you are the Messiah. I suspect that you are the false Messiah. But how come you have two eyes? You see the problem? Because the Prophet said you have only one eye, but you have two. The subject has to be addressed in a different way. You need a different epistemology. And Surah Al-Kahf comes to deliver that epistemology in the story of Musa alayhi salam and Khidr alayhi salam. That Musa alayhi salam, using the conventional methodology of knowledge externally acquired and formulating judgment on external observation, comes to the conclusion on all three occasions, and on all three occasions his conclusion and his judgment is wrong. But another man comes along and he gives the right answer. And Allah says to Musa alayhi salam, there is a servant of mine more learned than you are. He says, I want to meet him. And the answer comes that you will meet him at Majma' al-Bahrain, the place where the two oceans meet. And I pointed out to you Imam al-Baydawi, who gave us this lovely explanation that the two oceans are the ocean of knowledge externally acquired and the ocean of knowledge internally received. And when these two oceans of knowledge have majma'a, when they are harmoniously integrated in an individual, then you have a Khidr alayhi salam. The knowledge descends upon such a person. Such a person sees with the nur of Allah. So Surah Al-Kahf of the Quran is telling us that you will not be able to understand the world in the age of Dajjal, in the end times. Because he'll be the mastermind of the world at that time. You will not be able to understand the world at that time. You will not be able to explain the world, and you will not be able to respond to the challenges of the world at that time, unless and until you change your methodology. Unless and until you adopt this epistemology, that knowledge comes from both the external and the internal. And this is why when Maulana Fadlur Rahman Ansari rahimahullah established the Alimia Institute of Islamic Studies in Karachi, Pakistan, and we were so fortunate to be his students, we couldn't understand why was this man so emphatic about the spiritual quest being the foundation of knowledge. I, for one, I rejected it. At the age of 21, 22. I said, listen, I could handle that later on in life. At this time, let me devote myself to the pursuit of knowledge. As though the pursuit of knowledge and the pursuit of spirituality were two separate things, divorced from each other. Yes, this was the conclusion I arrived at the very green age of 22. What Maulana Fadlur Rahman Ansari rahimahullah was teaching us was that you need a foundation of spirituality in order to be able to advance in the world of knowledge. That there was that knowledge which was traditional. But in addition to that, here is a modern age. And he chose to call it, the study of the modern age, he chose to call it, what did he call it, Ali Mustafa? He's gone falling asleep, he didn't get enough sleep. Short supply in this retreat. He called it, where's Muhammad Ali Khan? Huh? Yeah, what did he call it? Modern thought. See, he didn't get enough sleep, he didn't get enough sleep. Call it modern thought. Alright? That was his choice. I don't use that term, but my teacher called it modern thought. An Alimia Institute of Islamic Studies was established in order to not only teach the traditional Islamic disciplines, but also introduce the student to modern thought. The other Darul Ulooms looked at us. What is that? It's neither fish nor fowl. Alimia Institute. They caricatured us. These fellows out there in the Alimia Institute. He is not Maulana. Because you know nowadays, I don't know if you heard about it. There's such a thing as a alim course, huh? Yes. You don't believe me? There's such a thing as an alim course. And there's an examination you have to pass to be a Maulana. You didn't hear it? You didn't hear it? Yes. And if you pass the exam, you're a Maulana. Sometimes I can't help myself and I have to use language that I afterwards regret. This is stupidness. This is stupidity. There's no such thing as an alim course. Never been. And never will be. You don't graduate to be an alim. No. It's nonsense. So they say, who are these fellas? Is this a Darul Uloom? It's neither fish nor fowl. They're teaching modern thought. Didn't they know that English is the language of the kuffar? You're not supposed to study English. You're not supposed to have English education. But how else are you going to study the modern age? So we have in Surah Al-Kahf, in Majma'ul Bahrain, the epistemology given to us by Surah Al-Kahf, not inescapable, the indispensable, you can't do without it, the indispensable methodology for the study of the modern age. Is this the age of Dajjal? All that you need to do is to ask him, Maulana, did he not say, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, that the last people, remember the last people, not the first, the last to come out of Dajjal will be women. And that a man will have to return to his home and tie down, meaning coercively restrain his wife and sister and daughter to protect them from the fitna of Dajjal, from being deceived by Dajjal. Maulana, Did he not also say about the world of women at that time that women will be dressed and yet naked? Is this not here now? Can you not see the evidence that this is linked to Dajjal? If we are living in the age of Dajjal, then you better watch that money that you're using in your pocket, in your wallet. If we are living in the age of Dajjal, then you better watch the electoral process, voting in elections. If we are living in the age of Dajjal, then you need this epistemology delivered by Surah Al-Kahf in order to be able to be equipped to study the world today. Knowledge externally acquired, knowledge internally received, and the two being harmoniously integrated with each other. Surah Al-Kahf of the Quran thus answered the questions of the rabbis, the Jews, but put a question mark behind the young men in the cave. So up to now they're guessing, they don't know how much we know. But in the process of answering the questions, the surah also gave to us very important information. For example, that in the end times, in the tumultuous end times, when there will be such great challenges and such grave danger, who are those who are most likely to respond to the call? The young men, not the older ones, the young men. Innahum, as Hasbullah so beautifully expressed last night, Innahum fityatun amanu bi rabbihim wazidnahum huda. These were the ones who gave up their jobs. These are the ones who gave up their homes with refrigerators and televisions and microwave and
dishwasher.
Dishwasher. These are the ones who put their passports behind them. These are the ones who fled, who disconnected, who withdrew. 1 in 1,000 will do that. And the 1 in 1,000 who will do that will be more likely than not a young person. Look at how important is this information for the leader who is leading a jama'ah in this age, the young ones. But then Surah Al-Kahf also told us something else about the young ones. What was it? I've been talking for too long. Let me hear you. Here was the young ones who were the ones who would show the courage, the backbone to stand up and proclaim the truth in the face of the oppressor, in the face of those who are worshipping other than Allah, and to disconnect from that godless world. But there are other young ones in the Quran, in Surah Al-Kahf. Where is Masabo? Where is Masabo? Where is Masabo? Oh, he has his head bent down. Come on, Masabo, let's have you. Young one, a young one, a young one. Surah Al-Kahf. You had breakfast this morning. Oh, you. There is a reference in Surah Al-Kahf to young ones, in the plural, in the young men in the cave. And they displayed this trademark as being the ones more likely than not to stand up for Allah with courage and integrity.